There's a YouTube video that, if you can believe it, came out 10 years ago now. Jackie Chan, How to Do Action Comedy, released by Every Frame a Painting.
Some filmmakers can do action, others can do comedy. But for 40 years, the master of combining them has been Jackie Chan.
Do you know what? I couldn't agree more with that. But to be honest with you, when I first watched this video, I was very much still young in my film bro career, and a lot of the films covered here I had never even heard of before. I'm not afraid to admit that, as a kid, I preferred the Karate Kid remake to the original. I realised that it was probably subconsciously already gravitating towards my own personal taste in film and towards a certain filmmaker that I now consider to be one of the best to ever do it, Jackie Chan. When I watched this video for the first time, I was really hyped to watch more Jackie Chan films, so much so that it inspired me to go out and start sourcing physical copies, and ever since I've been an avid collector of Jackie Chan movies. I think it was this one wee moment in particular that Every Frame a Painting shows off when I was like, oh, I need to watch more of this.
Each action creates a logical reaction. And by following the logic, we get a joke.
This video really does sum up what you can expect when you watch a Jackie Chan film, especially the ones produced in China. Slapstick comedy taken to modern extremes, with the way Jackie choreographs a scene being the main reason that you're watching. And I can't really think of any other filmmaker or director like that really. A lot of directors you might like for their dialogue or their camera work, but I really struggle to think of any other filmmaker that makes me as excited to see character movement and choreography like Jackie Chan does. So I've decided to make a video that I wish I had back then as a wee laddie watching this video. I'll be brutally honest, right? Jackie Chan has made some of the best action films of all time, there's no denying that. But he's also been involved in the production and fight choreography of nearly 200 movies. So there's also no denying that amongst those, there's bound to be some shite. So today, I'm going to take you through 6 different Jackie Chan movies to help you separate the wheat from the chaff when starting your Chan watchathon. This video isn't going to be like a DVD unboxing, I've just got them there as like a structure for the video. We're going to mainly be talking about the films, and I'm going to give a short wee synopsis and review for each one. I thought this might be a better format to talk about films that I like rather than my previous full-length insight into Jaws. Rather than doing like a full video essay on one film and looking at all the themes and ideas in that, I think this rapido fire recommendation style is more cut out for me, but let me know what you think down below. Now, these films aren't necessarily all fully directed by Jackie Chan, more so a collection of films that I think best show off his particular style of action comedy that Every Frame a Painting talks about. I'm going to avoid spoilers as much as possible. These are supposed to be recommendations, so if you want to go out and watch the film, you can. So stick around even if you've not seen the film, because I'm not going to be going into detail on the story or that. We're just going to be talking about a synopsis, and I'll maybe talk about a few action scenes of why I think this film's great. But without further ado, let's get into our very first film of the day, Rumble in the Bronx. We're starting with one of the more popular ones out there, but for very good reason. Rumble in the Bronx box office outsold China and Hong Kong combined in North America, making it a true breakthrough film for Chan in 1995. It's said that Jackie Chan made this film and set it in New York City because he turned down the role in Demolition Man that later went to Stallone. But he clearly wanted to be the man behind his American breakthrough, and we can see why with Rumble in the Bronx. It has got a bit of a wild plot, to be fair. Chan comes over from Hong Kong to visit his uncle in the big city, and he ends up trying to stop like a street race, then gets like properly fucked up with bottles being thrown at him. And they actually did this stunt for real. There was no double. During the take, Jackie Chan suffered severe cuts, and he has a permanent scar on his cheek from this scene. I'm going to make that a theme for this video, by the way. We're going to be talking as well as we go about some of the many injuries Chan sustained throughout his career. So he makes pals with like one of the bikers. She has a kid, and there's like a diamond robbery that goes wrong. The whole film is kind of like Snatch, if you've seen that, with a lot of different baddies and goons that try to get their hands on this diamond. Only Jackie, I think, is like a cop back in Hong Kong, so he has a bit more incentive to like stop the robbery rather than like Statham and that and Snatch that are like just bystanders. But you get the idea. You do watch this one for the chase scene at the end though, I'll be honest. But I'm going to have to call it there because I'm stepping dangerously close to spoilers going into that end scene. I will say it is one of the most incredible practically done chase scenes I've ever seen. And it lasts like half an hour to 40 minutes at the end of the film. I'm going to try and be vague, but we do have another famous Chan injury in the finale. Jackie Chan jumps from the base of the Ironworks Memorial Bridge in Canada onto like I can't do spoilers, like it's a boat. He actually snapped his ankle during the take. For all the future takes, he wore a sock that was painted to look like a shoe. And they actually, oh god, they used the take of the snapped ankle in the film as well, and welcome to never being able to unsee that now. So summary on Rumble in the Bronx is pretty wild plot with some rather annoying and over-the-top biker villains, but at the same time some absolutely mind-blowing fight scenes and one of the greatest stunts ever shot in the ending. Well worth a watch if you haven't seen it, but I'm thinking I'm preaching to the choir a bit here, so let's move on to film 2. The Young Master is the second film Jackie ever directed. I don't own The Fearless Hyena, his first film, but I did catch it on Amazon Prime one time, and I don't think it's still up there though, but I do know the USA Netflix had Rumble in the Bronx for a bit, so you might still get lucky and find one of these films on a streaming site that you're subscribed to, but I wouldn't hold out much hope. Chan's earlier stuff especially can be a bit hard to find. Fearless Hyena is quite good, but I think The Young Master is where Jackie Chan really starts to experiment with props and using the set around him in a fight. Jackie's earlier films are very much in that classical Chinese martial arts movie style, having worked and even choreographed Bruce Lee earlier in his career. But you can really see the influence of those films in Jackie's first few movies. But I recommend The Young Master over Fearless Hyena, simply because I think it's funnier and less serious, and it's a clear move towards comedic action scenes rather than serious, brutal ones. There's some really amazing wee action scenes that make great use of props in this one, like the dress fight scene and the battle on that wee log with the dragons. I do want to give a shout out to a scene from Fearless Hyena though. I totally thought this one was in Young Master when I first sat down to write this video, but on rewatch I found I was totally wrong. This wee chopstick scene is one of my favourite earlier Jackie scenes, and it's actually in Fearless Hyena, not Young Master. It's a great precursor to the slapstick comedy style that went on to follow later in his career. I'll play a wee clip. I am going to kind of glaze over The Young Master here though, as I feel both Rumble in the Bronx and The Young Master are two films that, if you're at all into Jackie Chan, you've likely heard of before. These two are great if you're literally just starting your Jackie journey. I think as a pair they show off almost all of what Jackie does best as a filmmaker. Young Master showing you the classical martial arts focused action that Jackie started his career with, and Bronx showing you the crazy stunts and rapido fire action scenes his style eventually evolved into. Our next four films are going to go a bit deeper and a bit earlier into Jackie Chan's career, and I hope, even for Chan veterans, we can talk about one you haven't seen before. Miracles, the Canton Godfather. This one is bonkers and I absolutely love it. Let me run you through this film's opening so we know what we're up against here. Jackie is just a normal bloke looking for a job, but times are tough. Meanwhile, a famous mob boss is doing some sort of deal that goes badly. They get into a shootout and a mad car chase that, of course, Jackie stumbles into. He ends up trying to save the mob boss, but he's taking a bullet that Jackie makes worse or something by carrying him over his shoulder. And I'm not shitting you one bit here. The mob boss tries to point at Jackie and say, "He killed me," to his men. Oh man, how can I even explain this? Right, so the subbed Cantonese version of the film that I own here, the subtitles literally take up about half the screen explaining the situation to you. He killed me. Spoken in Cantonese with mob boss's accent sounds like he's next in line. So the rest of the gang, confused and bewildered by the choice, give in to their master's dying wish and make Jackie the new mob boss, and the film just continues on with this bumbling idiot trying to learn his new role of being a crime lord. I recommend this one because it comes at a bit of a turning point in Chan's career, and I'd say it's his first film that fully embraces that later Rumble in the Bronx style. It's very clearly a straight up comedy film, more so than anything that came from Jackie before, and it's actually just really similar to Rumble in the Bronx weirdly. Not really in plot or anything, just in the way it's structured and the way it feels. Also, you're waiting the whole film for a big reveal that one of the gang members discovers that Jackie being the leader was a mistake and it all falls apart, until they learn to love each other and put aside their differences. Never happens. That punk mob boss from the start is pretty much never mentioned again the whole film. You might actually recognise this one from the Every Frame a Painting video as he analyses a wee scene.
Here, even though we're watching the stuntman, 2/3 of the frame is the staircase. A few seconds later, we see why.
That scene is the best fight scene in the whole film, by the way, and it lasts like 10 minutes before and after that little moment as well. But if I had a criticism of this one, it would be that that is really the only great fight scene in the movie. This one's a lot more focused on Jackie learning the ropes of the mob business, and things don't really kick off with a rival gang until about the third act. So this one doesn't have too much action in it, despite that opening scene and the office bar fight. Still, this one stands alone outside of those moments, I think, with some great comic relief characters. Jackie would often have comic relief characters in his films before that point, but again, in that classic Chinese style, they often are just bumbling drunks with rosy cheeks and a big red nose. Jackie's crime advisor in this film is a lot more dry and sarcastic. He's older and wiser with some great timing, and he's a spot-on character that gets a lot of funny jokes in the film. This one's definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Now, I threw this next one in as a bit of a curveball wildcard because I wanted to give you at least one film that I didn't really like. And if you're interested in owning physical copies like me, and like me you're in a pretty sparse part of the world film-wise, it can be tough when sourcing physical copies to know exactly what to look for, and especially what not to look for. I can't tell you how many times I've been in one of the very few shops that sell this sort of thing around here, and I've seen a film that says Jackie Chan's blank on the cover, and there's me desperately trying in the shop to get 4G signal or connect to the Wi-Fi or something so that I can look up who directed this, who wrote this, was it Jackie, was it somebody else, should I buy this one or that one? This is spiritual kung fu. This is the one I wish I didn't buy, quite honestly. It's pretty shit. It's not directed by Jackie, and it does come earlier in his career. It's a comedy, and it's... Mind what I said about those annoying comic relief characters and makeup that ruin everything, especially if the entire film involves them in the plot? Well, try adding like 8 of them. Jackie's master dies and he awakens like the spirit of the temple or something, and the ghosts are just like the 7 dwarves. And he has to like hide the spirits from the community. They train him. I can't really tell what the goal is. It's really just like stupid ghosts playing pranks and being annoying. They train him up, and there's some shit with like a rival dojo, but there's very little like actual fighting. Most of the film is just like the ghosts being fucking minions. It's actually directed by Lo Wei, which is really surprising because he's usually a good sign. This guy did Fists of Fury and The Big Boss, for fuck's sake. It should be good, but it isn't. Avoid this one if you can. Next up is really the film I made this video for, Snake and Crane, Arts of Shaolin. This one's going back a bit to 1978, not directed by Jackie but by Shen Shi Hua, a director who worked with Jackie a lot during his early career. The two of them made a lot of films together, including Shaolin Wooden Men and Half a Loaf of Kung Fu, but the one I'm going to talk about today is Snake and Crane, Arts of Shaolin, mainly because it's one of my personal favourites. The fighting in this one is relentless. Let me give you a quick rundown of the plot. Jackie has this book, right? It's an ancient text he got from an old school before the movie starts. And because of the knowledge of this book, he's like a fighting god. Jackie actually gets to start the film as a badass in this one for a change, and they waste no time at all. After the opening credits, which has a badass training sequence with spears, remember that, it'll be important later, a group of like 3 to 4 ninjas come up to Jackie and go, "I am Ji Don Hu of the 7th School of Shendu, son of Hai Chin Hu, and I want that book. Give it to me." Jackie goes, "In your dreams." And they have a fucking awesome fight scene. Then the next scene goes into a bar and another team of ninjas show up and he goes, "I am Zhong Jinghua of the 19th dynasty, belonging to the Yun Tai school of Tai Chi. I have learned many things about your great Shaolin style. Let me see that book." And Jackie goes, "In your dreams." And they kick fuck out of each other. That's pretty much the whole film, and it is magnificent. This one has what has got to be my favourite Jackie Chan fight scene. But like I said, we're going to avoid spoilers here, and this fight happens right at the end of the film. So I'm going to give you absolutely no context here. I'm just going to talk over the opening credit scene that foreshadows it. Jackie's up against 3 spearmen, and that is really pretty much all you need to picture. The whole fight plays out like fucking hole in the wall, Jackie style, with him contorting his body all around in crazy positions to dodge these spear thrusts. He stomps on them and jumps over them fucking Sekiro style, and it's just absolutely beautiful to watch. And the spearmen really look like they're trying to kill him too. Sometimes in these Hollywood group fights you can see loads of extras just standing about being fucking useless. And that clearly bugs Jackie as well, because in his films, everybody involved in a fight moves quickly and often in unison, and it always looks a lot more scrappy, but in a good way, like how you would actually work together in real life if you were fighting someone more skilled. This film is just packed with some of the very best that classic kung fu action has to offer. The one thing is, the overall story isn't great. It does have one of those comedic double acts with a red rosy fucking drunk or whatever, but they're not in it much. But I don't think there's another Jackie Chan film out there that I've watched that's as densely packed with fight scenes as this one. So that one was a bit more of a personal pick, one that I really love. But for the final pick, I wanted to go with what I consider to be Jackie's best made movie. And again, I may be jumping back into well-known territory, but I do not care at all. It's Armour of God. I can sum this one up in one quick comparison. Jackie Chan, Indiana Jones. Jackie Chan, Indiana Jones. Jackie Chan, Indiana Jones. If you need any more to watch this, then you're off your fucking head. I'm actually going to give a quick shout out to our YouTube veterans out there and pull up another clip, one that stars our titular film.
Jackie Chan made a movie called Armour of God, and the sequel was called Armour of God 2, Operation Condor. Well, when that came out in the US, there was a little difficulty. Armour of God wasn't out yet, so they decided to release the sequel here first and change the title to just Operation Condor. Well, after that, Armour of God actually did make an American release, and it was called Operation Condor 2, Armour of God, a complete reversal.
Nice segue into talking about the confusing sequel titles, Jake. Oh, thank you, audience. So if you're watching this from the United States of America, first off, how you doing, by the way? You alright? Like, you all good? Asking as a mate here. But it's going to be pretty tough to source the first Armour of God and know for a fact that you're watching the same film that I'm going to be talking about here, like our friend, the angry video game nerd, just described. We don't have this issue in Scotland though, as the European release is correctly titled, and this one is the first Armour of God. I don't own the sequel, Operation Condor. I've found it's really hard to get my hands on. I've seen it nowhere. But I did manage to catch it online one time, and quite honestly, you could have watched them out of order and not been any of the wiser. But like, answer honestly, right? If you knew absolutely nothing about Indiana Jones and you watched Temple of Doom before Raiders, would you really be able to tell? So I wouldn't worry too much about finding the right film first. Another famous injury here, you might know that Jackie nearly fucking died making this film. Right in the opening sequence, Jackie falls 40 foot after a tree branch snapped beneath him. He fractured his skull in the fall, and the crew reported blood gushing from his ears. He wasn't sure he'd make it after that one.
Yugoslavia, they almost get killed. From the castle, jump to the tree bang to another castle, then they run away. The tree just break it. I just straight fall down.
I will spare you the gory details, but luckily, as we all know, Jackie did pull through and he survived and finished his movie once again. Armour of God has some of the most creative set pieces and fun ideas. Oh look, he's just ripping off Indiana Jones straight. Oh, shut up. Did Indiana Jones have a fucking live vest of dynamite that sparks accidentally ignited so they had to get rid of all the sticks before they explode? Didn't think so. Next question. It's a shame that this one's known for being a bit iffy when it comes to its depictions of other races. I do get it with the opening people, those weird kind of Zulu people, like the cannibals that chase Jackie. It's not a very flattering depiction of African culture, don't do that shit. I do get it with that, I get why that would be questionable. But I have got to say, the 4 8-foot tall black divas at the end are honestly fucking amazing, and I would not change a thing. Is it weird that 4 massive, buff, scantily clad women defend the Armour of God? I mean, watch the fucking film and you tell me. I don't think it's weird. I think it's awesome. And yet another one of the best fight scenes in Jackie Chan's whole career. So there you have it. 6 Jackie Chan films that you can muse through and either pick up or avoid. Hopefully you've got a bit of a broader idea of what Jackie Chan has to offer as a filmmaker and why I think he's such a bloody legend. Cheers. See you next time.